Hey everybody, today we are going to make some really awesome baked chicken. For lack of a better term, I'm going to call this Crusty Birds because it has a crust on it that is unlike anything I've ever had before. First time I made this, my wife had it, we had it for dinner, and my wife immediately asked, when's this going to go back in the rotation? Really can't say enough good things about this dish. And I'll give you a hint that the thick crust is actually made from panko breadcrumbs. Now here is a look at the ingredients you're going to need for both the chicken and the salad. Pretty basic here. Chicken, salt, butter, some cream of chicken, condensed soup. That's kind of the weird ingredient here with some mayonnaise. So you'll see how that works together in just a few minutes. Now go ahead and preheat your oven to 425. Yep, it's that hot, and that's okay. Now the first thing we need to do is grate about 4 ounces, maybe 6 ounces of cheddar cheese. Notice that I'm using the fine grates on this because this is going to be mixed in with the panko and some butter and to make the crust. When we make the salad, we're going to grate some thicker, more of the standard size cheese grates. We've talked about this on other recipes that if you can grate your cheese off the block, it's going to be a lot fresher than the pre-shredded kind. The pre-shredded, they add a non-caking agent, and the off the block, it just simply doesn't have that, so it's a lot fresher. This is going to be a very simple method of breading our chicken. Simply going to put some flour in a Ziploc bag, and then we're going to throw our chicken in there to bread it. So go ahead and set that aside for now. Now we're just going to trim up our chicken a bit, get rid of all the nasty bits. There's a little bit of cartilage there. That's probably from the wishbone. That is the tendon where the tenderloin is attached to the chicken breast. Just get rid of that. If it doesn't look like good quality meat you'd want to eat, just go ahead and trim it out. I mean, this chicken breast looks really good, really nothing wrong with it, but it's never butchered perfectly, I don't think. So, same thing here. Get rid of that little tender, not tender, but tendon that's attached, and get rid of, there's always just damaged meat right there where the wishbone was attached, and a lot of times in this case there's some fat here, but a lot of times, not a lot, but sometimes you'll see that it has a piece of the a cartilage that is where the sternum bone is, a chest bone, chest plate, whatever you want to call it. So a lot of times that doesn't get butchered out. So just clean it up the best you can. So get rid of anything that just doesn't look good, and go ahead and season your chicken. I like to apply the salt directly to the meat as opposed to putting the salt in the flour. I think you get a lot better flavor at the end. Draws some of your there's a lot of debate on this. It draws some of your moisture out, but it infuses the meat with salt, which is flavor. Either way, it works better, I think, applying it directly to the meat. So then just go ahead and throw your chicken in the bag. Give it a spin. This is going to be a light coating. Take it out and just knock the excess flour off. Nothing complicated here, just a light coating. Now this is where the recipe gets a little bit weird. Add 1/3 of a cup of mayonnaise to a bowl. Don't worry if you don't like mayonnaise, you don't taste it in the end, it just acts as a binder. And also we're going to add a can of cream of chicken soup. Now, I know this seems weird, but just trust me on this. This is going to work. It's really good. and just give it a good stir. Now we're going to need about 3 or 4 tablespoons of butter, I guess 4 tablespoons of butter, and we're going to melt that in the microwave. Notice that we have a rectangular bowl here. That's going to be important when we dip our chicken in it. So now that the butter has been melted, go ahead and add 1 cup of panko breadcrumbs. Now go ahead and add 1 cup of panko breadcrumbs. They can be plain, they can be seasoned. I think the seasoned tastes a little bit better. If you never used panko breadcrumbs, they're a lot crispier than normal breadcrumbs, manufactured very differently. So at this point, go ahead and add in your shredded cheddar cheese. Again, that was fine shredded cheddar cheese, and give that a good stir. So we've got this mixture of panko breadcrumbs, cheese, and the butter is going to act kind of like a binder. Go ahead and set that aside and place our breaded chicken breast in a baking dish. This is just a plain old 9x9 baking pan, nothing complicated here. Now this is where it gets weird. We're going to use our rectangular bowl. This would not work as well if it was a round bowl. So dip our chicken in that cream of chicken mixture with the mayonnaise. Trust me, folks, it's worth it. It works. Doesn't seem like it, but it works. And then dip that into your panko breadcrumb mix. And that's going to make just an incredible crust on this. Lots of flavor. This is kind of messy to your hands, but that'll wash off. Just a little weird, to be honest, but it works. So don't be afraid of it. It's a really good recipe. Tons of flavor. You're going to love it. And notice how I'm patting some of the mixture in just on the places that it didn't stick. So go ahead and place that in your pan, and we're going to throw that in the oven at a 425 degrees and let that cook. Now we're going to bake these in the oven for about 35 minutes. That's 425 degrees Fahrenheit. For about 35 minutes, and then we're going to check our temperature. We need to get the temperature up to 165. That's kind of the standard to make sure that you kill all the E. coli and salmonella, especially in chicken. So there will be carryover temperature, so if your thermometer gets to 162, 163, and still climbing, it will get well past that 165 limit. Salmonella actually dies at 160, but that extra 5 degrees is kind of a safety issue. These chicken breasts were really large, so I cut one in half because that just was way too much for one serving. And here's the best part of the whole show. We get to eat it. And I'm going to make another video for just this broccoli salad. It's really good, simple to make. But just for time's sake on this video, we don't want to go past 10 minutes. So I'm going to make another video for that. Serve it up. This is a great weekday meal. Cannot say enough good things about this. It's so simple, so delicious. It goes in the permanent rotation. I think you'll enjoy it. So give it a try. Let me know what you think in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe. And really do hope you try this for your family because it's really good.